Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan. And now, host Cheryl Miller.
Hello and good morning. Thanks for joining us for Battle of the Brains. I'm Cheryl Miller. Today's teams are playing in round one of our 19th season. As with a lot of things these days, we have had to make some changes to the way our academic challenge is played due to the COVID pandemic. Our competition, though, still welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia, and they're joining us remotely. Today's teams are the Knights of Cave Spring High School, coached by Tamara Carson. Cave Spring High School is in the Roanoke County School District in the southwestern section of Virginia. The public secondary school has an enrollment of about 1,000 students. Also with us remotely today, the Rapids of James River High School, coached by Ross Haynes. You'll find James River High School in Midlothian, which is a section of Chesterfield County just south of Richmond. With a student body of approximately 2,000, James River High School has been recognized by the U.S. Department of Education as a school of excellence. Welcome to all of our students. It's great to have them joining us remotely today. Now, since we can't all be together here in our studio, here's how the gameplay has changed. We will have toss-up rounds with questions directed to each team. The first answer from a team is the accepted answer. Players will answer by raising their hand. We also have Virginia-based video questions this season from the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch. So let's start the first toss-up round. Our first question goes to Cave Spring. In 1873, New York was the first state to officially recognize it. However, many southern states did not adopt it until after World War I. Name this national holiday observed at the end of May. Nathan.
Memorial Day?
That is correct. James River, he was a charismatic speaker and a strong opponent of fascism. Who was this 1953 Nobel Prize winner for literature and the Prime Minister of England during most of World War II? Hannah.
Winston Churchill?
That is correct. All right, Cave Spring, she was America's first female self-made millionaire. Name this woman who developed and marketed a line of cosmetic and hair care products for black women and founded the Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company. She was the Madam C.J. Walker, Sarah Breedlove. All right, James River, kidnapped by his father, he makes his escape down the Mississippi and Ohio rivers on a raft, along with the fugitive slave Jim. Name this title character of an 1885 Mark Twain novel. Jordan.
Huckleberry Finn.
That is correct. Cave Spring, the proper or correct form of the Japanese suicide ritual is called seppuku. By what more common name is this ritual known? Nathan, actually Sophia.
Suicide bombing?
It is a form of suicide. It's called harakiri. James River. Martin Luther's 95 Theses, which heralded the start of the Protestant Reformation, consisted of 95 arguments against what practice? Jordan.
The Catholic Church?
It would be against the sale of indulgences or the sale of forgiveness of sins. Cave Spring, all right, watch your screen and listen closely. Here is your video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
This bronze statue depicting which Roman god is displayed on the boardwalk in Virginia Beach?
Nathan.
Neptune?
That is correct. Good job. All right, James River, what major musical scale contains the notes B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat? That would be A flat major. Cave Spring, born on the Caribbean island of Nevis, this man left college to join the U.S. Continental Army. Name this man who became aide to George Washington and later served as America's first Secretary of the Treasury. Sophia.
Alexander Hamilton.
Said with a big smile. That is correct. James River, Elegy, written in a country churchyard, is the most enduring work of what poet? would be Thomas Gray. Cave Spring in 1920, she was recognized as a Christian saint by the Roman Catholic Church, named this French hero of the 100 Years' War, who was burned at the stake in Rouen, France in 1431. Rachel.
Joan of Arc.
That is correct. James River, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. Don't forget proper units and significant digits. A 3.0 kilogram mass has a velocity of 6.0 meters per second. What is its kinetic energy? Charlie.
18.
It would be 54. Kinetic energy equals 1/2 mass times velocity squared. And that buzzer means the end of our first toss-up round, but we've got many more questions to go. Good job so far by our teams. Up next, we'll meet today's players, and then they'll take on the category round here on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Cave Spring High School with 40 points, James River High School with 20 points. We'll get back to our match just ahead, but first we want to introduce you to today's players. First, let's meet our team from Cave Spring High School. They are the Knights. Their coach is Tamara Carson. First up is Rachel Baffo-Bonney, who is a senior. She's co-captain of both the debate and quiz bowl teams at her school. She's founder of her school's Senior Citizen Pen Pal program and founder of her school district's Student Equity Team. She likes music, plays the piano, and enjoys watching video essays on YouTube. Next up is today's team captain, Nathan Sprouse. Nathan's a junior. He's a musician. He plays the clarinet, the oboe, the bassoon, and the cello. He's the clarinet section leader in the marching band. He's been on the academic team for 6 years and enjoys writing and arranging music in the free time. Next up is Sophia Shoemaker, who is a junior, attends the area's governor's school. She's worked as a research assistant at Virginia Tech, is currently working with parasitic plants. This is her 5th year on the school's academic team. She enjoys running, painting, and cooking in her free time and is part of the NEHS Key Club and her school's Spanish club. And Elliot Kessler wraps up the team from Cave Spring High School. Elliot's a senior. His favorite subjects, he tells us, is history and also mathematics. His favorite passions are movies and animals. He dislikes chocolate, I can't believe that, and messy organization, but I can understand it. That is our team from Cave Spring High School. Now let's meet our team from James River High School in Chesterfield. They are the Rapids. Their coach is Ross Haynes. First up is Janice Schultz, who is a senior. She wants to attend college and medical school after graduation. She competes riding her horse all over the United States and would like to continue riding on a team in college. And this is her 3rd year on the James River academic team. Next up is the team captain, Charlie Cavallero, who's a senior. He plays football for James River. He enjoys watching and playing basketball, enjoys spending time with friends and family, and hopes to attend UVA and earn a degree in computer science. We wish you the best with that. Hannah Stewart is a senior who is on the cross-country and track teams and wants to attend George Mason University to major in forensic science. We wish you the best of luck with that. And wrapping up our team from James River is Jordan Smith, who is a senior who hopes to attend a 4-year college and then law school. Hobbies include binge reading fantasy books, rescuing feral cats, and researching dinosaur history. Quite a lot of interesting aspects to her life. That is our team from James River High School, and great to have both teams with us today. Now, for our category round, each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If the team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they'll receive a 20-point bonus. Teams, here are today's categories from which you may choose. They are devastated cities, SI units, and begins with AL. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, but they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answers. And the high score team will go first in the category round. That is Cave Spring High School. So Nathan, quickly talk it over with your teammates and let me know what category you would like to play.
We would like to do SI units.
All right. Given its symbol and a brief description, identify each of the following SI units of measure. The first is T, magnetic flux density.
Tesla.
Correct. H, inductance.
Hertz.
That would be Henry. dB, sound intensity.
Decibels.
Correct. W, power.
Watt.
Correct. KB, mass.
Kilogram.
Correct. F, electric capacitance.
Simon. Simon.
That would be farad. I said F, not S, sorry. M for length.
Meter.
Correct. R, radiation exposure.
Geiger.
That would be Röntgen. N, force.
Newton.
Correct. And finally, S for time.
Seconds.
And that is correct. Good job on that category by Cave Spring High School. Now James River will play either devastated cities or begins with AL. Charlie, what would you and your team like to tackle?
We would like to tackle devastated cities.
All right. What type of disaster devastated each of these cities in the year that I note? The first is 1906 San Francisco.
Fire. Fire.
Earthquake or fire, yes. Khao Lak, Thailand, 2004.
Tsunami. Tsunami.
Correct. Constantinople, 542 AD.
War.
That would be plague or epidemic. Pompeii, 79 AD.
Volcano.
Correct. London, 1666.
Fire.
Correct. Dublin, 1846 to 1849.
Famine.
Famine is correct. Chicago, 1871.
Fire. Fire.
Correct. Greensburg, Kansas, 2007.
Famine. Tornado.
Correct. Dresden, 1945.
Fire.
That would be correct. War, fire, or fire bombing. And finally, Gulf Shores, Alabama, August 2005.
Hurricane.
That would be Katrina. That is correct. Good job on that category, unfortunately, for those devastated cities. Good job for the category rounds teams, though. Up next, we've got another toss-up round when we continue with Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Cave Spring High School with 75 points, James River High School with 65 points. And now it's back to Battle of the Brains and another toss-up round. Again, questions this season being directed team to team, alternating between them. Anyone on that team may answer by raising their hand and waiting for me to call on them. And there are no point deductions for incorrect answers. Our first question this round goes to Cave Spring. Cave Spring, after serving 27 years as a political prisoner in Robben Island Prison, what civil rights icon was elected the first black president of South Africa? Nathan.
Nelson Mandela.
Correct. James River. Until Donald Trump, this man was the only U.S. president whose wife was not born in America. Name this man who served as Secretary of State under James Monroe and 18 years in the House after a single term as president. Charlie.
Adams.
I need you to be more specific.
John Adams.
It was John Quincy Adams. All right, Cave Spring, celebrated annually on the last Friday in April. This is a day set aside to celebrate the planting of trees. What is this holiday that will be marked April 29th, 2022? Rachel.
Earth Day?
It was actually Arbor Day. James River, the only people at this man's funeral are his father, a one-time party guest who was astonished by his library, and Nick Carraway, the narrator of his life on West Egg. Not even Daisy Buchanan comes to the service for what great literary creation of F. Scott Fitzgerald? Jordan.
The Great Gatsby.
That is correct, or J. Gatsby. Cave Spring, it became a British colony in 1718, and its population surged after the arrival of Loyalists following the American Revolution. Name this island country off the coast of Florida, whose capital is Nassau. Nathan.
The Bahamas.
That is correct, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. All right, James River, please watch the screen and listen closely. Here is your video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
Born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, he is a best-selling novelist. Name the author of the novel Absolute Power that was turned into a 1997 movie directed by and starring Clint Eastwood.
And that would be David Baldacci. All right, Cave Spring. In 2021, with a net worth of over $2 billion, which basketball icon made the top spot on Forbes' list of the richest people in sport? Rachel.
LeBron James.
It was actually Michael Jordan. James River, in his works, The American Crisis and Common Sense, he wrote, "Government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. And these are the times that try men's souls." Name this political writer who argued for complete independence from Britain. Charlie.
Thomas Paine.
That is correct. Cave Spring, this fire-breathing creature of Greek myth was killed after the Lycian king Iobates asked Bellerophon and his winged horse for help. Name this monster whose form combines aspects of a lion, a goat, and a dragon. Nathan.
The Chimera.
That is correct, the Chimera. James River, it was an early 20th century artistic and social movement of African Americans. Name this period associated with people including Zora Neale Hurston, Langston Hughes, and W.E.B. Du Bois, and a neighborhood in New York City. Jordan.
The Harlem Renaissance.
That is correct. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round ahead, and we'll have today's winner here on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores now as we head into the final round here on Battle of the Brains. Cave Spring High School with 105 points, James River High School with 95 points. Now for this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled. There is no deduction for an incorrect answer. And again, for this virtual version of Battle of the Brains, we are directing questions to each team, with anyone on that team able to answer by raising their hand and waiting for me to call on them. All right, let's start our first toss-up round. Our final toss-up round, the question goes to Cave Spring High School. This 19th century Austrian philosopher was more influential as a physicist who studied projectiles and aerodynamics. Who is this man whose name is used for measurement in terms of the speed of sound? Sophia.
Mach.
That is correct, Ernest Mach. James River, its use was suggested by First Lady Julia Tyler and initially carried out unofficially at the inauguration of James K. Polk. Since 1954, what song is used to officially announce U.S. presidents at public events? Hannah.
The national anthem.
No, the song would be Hail to the Chief. Cave Spring, what city was the capital of the Confederate States of America before the government seat was moved to Richmond, Virginia? It was Montgomery, Alabama. James River, the Friendship Bridge connects this city to Thailand by spanning the Mekong River. Bordered by Vietnam on the east, what is this landlocked nation whose capital is Vientiane? Charlie.
Cambodia.
It's actually Laos. Cave Spring, created by George Washington, this award was originally called the Badge of Military Merit. Renamed in 1932, what is this badge that is given to people wounded in military action? Sophia. Sophia.
Purple Heart Badge.
That is correct, the Purple Heart. James River, Yosemite is one of the country's 423 U.S. national parks. Spell Yosemite. Jana. Unmute your mic, please, for us.
Yosemite.
That is correct, Yosemite. Cave Spring, Roger Staubach, Tony Romo, and Troy Aikman have all played what position for the NFL's Dallas Cowboys? Elliot.
Quarterback.
That is correct. James River, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. A computer and its monitor weigh a total of 48 pounds. If the monitor weighs twice as much as the computer, how much does each piece of hardware weigh? The computer is 16 pounds, the monitor is 32 pounds. Cave Spring, you may need your pencil and paper for this. Sarah takes 5 tests. Her mean and median averages are both 80. Her mode is 70, and her best score is 95. What is her second best score? Nathan.
85.
That is correct. James River, on a piano keyboard, how many notes, including sharps and flats, are found in an octave? Hannah.
8.
There are 13. Cave Spring, which American architect designed New York City's Guggenheim Museum? Nathan.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
That is correct. And that buzzer means the end of our game. While our judges double-check the final score for us, we want to remind you how to stay connected with us here at Battle of the Brains. If you'd like to find out more about our show, just log on to battleofthebrains.net. You'll also find Battle of the Brains on Facebook and full episodes of our show on our YouTube page. And as we continue round 1 of our new season, join us next week when we virtually welcome teams from Trinity Episcopal School of Richmond and Meadowbrook High School of North Chesterfield. Now, here is the final score for today's match, the winning team going on to the next round. James River High School ends the match with 115 points. A great job today by Jana, Charlie, Hannah, and Jordan. Congratulations and good luck with the rest of your school year. Our winners today and going on to the next round, final score 205 points, our team from Cave Spring High School. We'll see Rachel, Nathan, Sophia, and Elliot in the next round. Congratulations. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thanks so much for watching and playing along on Battle of the Brains. We will see you back here next Saturday morning. Great job, teams. Thank you.
Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.